everybody, and welcome to yet another virtual happy hour. I'm Phil Clark from the Britain Yankee Craft Beer Podcast, sitting here in deepest West Chicago in the Britain Yankee Pub Studios. With me today in the lower window to my right, I guess it's to your right as well, Mr. Ken McMullen from Hot Vine.
Cheers.
Cheers. Up in the top right. No, top left. That's me. I'm in the top right. In the top left is from Malted Tales, Jay Rizicki.
Cheers.
And our guest of honor today from Brother Chimp Brewing down in North Aurora, in your bottom left, which sounds rather rude, doesn't it, is Mr. Steve Newman. Welcome, Steve.
Cheers. And just so you know, it might not be the order that you've got, because my order is scrambled from what you had.
Yeah, but I'm recording, so it'll be the order I've got.
There
you go. All right. Well, welcome, Steve. We were very happy to have you with us because you've just opened your brewery, and actually, I'm going to go back to the gallery view for my recording because I have been down to your brewery and purchased your wonderful 4-pack of Twisty Tops, really cool. And I have got the brown ale to celebrate having you, if I can get it open, having you on the show. There we go.
Great.
These are marvelous. The top comes off. We pour it, and it gets beautiful beer in a nice, large English pint glass. So let's go around and find out what we are all drinking. We'll come to you last, Steve. Jay, what have you got?
Well, you know me. I like the heavy stuff, so I'm drinking a little Straight Jacket from Revolution, their barley wine.
All right.
Good stuff. And we'll need that after this is all over, a Straight Jacket or maybe even a heavy barley wine. What have you got, Ken?
I'm at Hop Vine, so I have on tap some of Steve's beer. This is Brigadoon from Brother Chimp.
Ooh, lovely. And that's ESB, if I remember rightly.
It is?
Right. It's delicious.
So let's come down to Steve and find out all about what he's drinking and how the hell he's doing based on the fact he didn't really have a grand opening because of this darn closure stuff.
Well, so like you, I'm drinking the brown ale, which is Smile, but unlike you, mine is on nitro, which only I get to drink because you can't pack it to go.
That's a bummer. But I guess you're enjoying it.
I'm enjoying it.
It really is a nice malty brown ale. I've enjoyed this before from you, but it's good to have it with the brewer. So tell us how you guys are doing.
Well, you know, we're kind of doing okay. We're working on getting people to know that we're open. We will have a grand opening. That's not going to not happen. But obviously, the soft opening wasn't the soft opening that we had anticipated. We were actually grabbing our beer on Sunday when we heard that the governor had decided that only 50 people could be in a bar. And we're like, well, that's okay. We're a small bar. That shouldn't be a problem. But we had a small truck, and we had to make 2 trips. And by the time we made the second trip, we heard that all bars would be closed as of 9 p.m. on Monday. So my planned opening for Tuesday accelerated to 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. on Monday because I didn't know what the future held, and I came too far not to at least open for a few hours. So, and actually, Ben, why don't you come over and say hi? Because Ben is the assistant brewer and bartender who helped me bring all those beers from downtown. And
I did all the heavy lifting.
He did do the heavy lifting. Definitely, he did the heavy lifting. Yeah, so, you know, it wasn't exactly what we planned, but we're making the most of it. We're getting well accepted by the community. North Aurora is a wonderful community. We have a lot of townhomes just behind us. So we've actually even had a little walk-up business where people have walked by and said, oh, geez, I didn't know you were open. And so, you know, we're doing okay with the to-go business. The beers have been really well received, so that's nice. The people who get to see the tap room like the tap room. So, you know, I'm sure we'll get over this bump and things will be better. So
How did you guys
up with the name Brother Chimp?
So the original name was going to be Chimp Brewing, which Chimp is the name of a fantasy baseball team that I've had for over 30 years now. But what I found is people kept confusing Chipmunk with Chipmunk, the little rodent. And I really didn't want to be confused with a rodent. So after consulting a bunch of people, came up with the idea of Brother Chimp. The logo still worked perfectly with it. It's really still the same concept and everything. But now I don't have people looking up Chipmunk instead of Chimpmunk, and they can find us. So the reason I went with it, not just that it was my fantasy baseball name, but I always thought I wanted to have a fun place, and chimps are fun, and monks know beer. So
Yeah.
brothers know beer too.
Can you show us your bar?
Sure, I can show you the bar.
Can you give us a virtual 360?
The virtual tap room tour here in just a minute. Here we go. So there you can see are the taps back there, and try and get you a little bit of the view of the Natural Edge bar.
What's the story behind the bar?
So the bar is all made out of a spruce tree that I had to take down in my backyard last May. And I love old trees. It's part of why we bought the place that we bought. And so I hated to take it down. But knowing that I was going to be opening up the brewery, I got the tree guy to cut it into 8-foot sections and take it to a mill for me. And at least I still get to look at it every day now. So I'm pretty excited about it. And I found a great stubborn Irishman who was willing to work with the wood, which was difficult because I had to cut into 4-inch thick pieces. And, you know, when wood is like that, not professionally done, and it kind of twisted in the kiln as it was dried out.
Another order coming in.
Wasn't easy. Yes, it is. So we like orders. They're good. Yeah, and so that's kind of the story of the bar.
I was going to ask Steve, what beers do you have on tap right now that people can get, and what are those cans the way you get them from you, or there are other ways, or what?
Actually, so we now have growlers restocked. We had growlers. We ran out of growlers, but we had these twisty cans. So we've got 16-ounce twisty cans, and we've got growlers now. And in a few days, we're also going to have howlers. So you'll be able to, you decide, 16, 32, or 64, we can get it to you. So the beers that we have right now, we have 6 beers that we brewed in conjunction with Pilot Project downtown. So my recipes, but brewed there so that I could get it to the public quicker. We have a blonde ale I called Kima, which is a really nice, light, refreshing summertime blonde ale, just 4.2%. It's a very easy drinking. We have our IPA, which I made. It's a traditional West Coast IPA, nothing hazy. It's 6%, and I call that for the masses because people know me, I generally don't brew IPAs, but I knew I had to please the masses, and I actually pleased myself in the process. I really enjoy it. It's a nice, easy drinking IPA at just 6%. We've got the Brigadoon, which Ken is drinking now, which is my version of ESB. I also have what I call, and Brigadoon is, I have a dog named Briggs, and one of his nicknames is Brigadoon, is where that came from. And Kima actually is another one of my dogs. I have 3 dogs. I kind of love dogs. And then I have the red ale that I call the Well-Red Monk. It's meant to be a dry Irish that was actually featured on the Brit and the Yank not that long ago, and we talked about all things Irish, orange, green. It's a good dark malty red that I like a lot. And then we've got the Smile, which is being drunk by both myself and the Brit. And then the last one we have is Sigfie, which was also on that podcast, which is a traditional dry Irish stout at just 4.2%.
And I got that one in. I got that one in my 4-pack too.
Oh, good job.
Mm-hmm.
You can get to that later then.
Yes, I can if I get through this. It's really delicious. Ken, what do you think of the Brigadoon?
It's delicious. Nice malty, kind of caramel malty. That's really the dominant flavor in this.
Yeah.
But it's light, it's easy to drink, and it's refreshing.
That drinkability and malt is probably the most common theme in the beers I like to make.
You, Phil, what do you?
Oh yeah, I think it's delicious. Yeah, I mean, I have to say that if I put a brown ale up against a Newcastle as it used to be before they put all the preservatives in it, this is very reminiscent of that. So, what sort of a brewing equipment you got back there then, Steve?
So I got my equipment from Fraunhofer, which is all American made. They're out of New York. So it's all U.S. government grade steel. Really anxious to get going with the system. I haven't quite started yet because I got limited cooler space, but hopefully next week we'll brew our first batch. It's a 5-barrel system because I want to keep everything fresh and hoping to sell everything mostly just out of the tap room. The setup has two uni tanks and 2 lagering tanks. And then I also have 2 unjacketed conditioning tanks in the cooler so I can try and keep the lagers kind of moving on par with the ales. So looking forward to the one thing I didn't do at pilot project because of time and expense was any lagers, but I'm definitely looking forward to kind of having a pretty even split of lagers and ales once we get going. I think somebody asked at one point how many taps I've got. I'm going to have 12 taps. My plan long-term is to have 8 taps be beers that we brew here. I always want to have a cider on tap for people who, you know, don't like the grains or whatever, or, you know, or just aren't beer people.
Free.
And then hoping to have the 3 other taps be either guest taps or ideally collaborations on different beers that I wouldn't normally brew myself. So trying to give the good variety for everybody who comes into the tap room.
When you guys, once this all clears up, are you open 7 days a week, 5 days a week?
So my plan, because of where we are, is to be open 7 days a week, which we are right now open 7 days a week. So people can pick beer up to go from 3 to 7, Monday through Thursday, and from noon to 8, Friday and Saturday, and noon to 7 on Sundays.
Cool.
So, you know, we've got a lot of, it's nice. I've got a lot of townhomes right behind me here, and I'm hoping to kind of be that local pub for people.
Well, we hope you are going to be successful now with delivery. Well, you're not doing delivery, right? You're doing pickup.
No, we are doing delivery, but we can only do delivery within North Aurora. But we have made a couple of deliveries for people. We've also partnered with our local pizza place, which is just the next parking lot over, Raimondo's. And if you order a pizza from Raimondo's, you have to call and pay us for the beer, but they will pick the beer up and deliver it with your pizza. So you can have it all at the same time.
Oh,
That's really cool.
Really cool.
Best of both worlds there. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's a great community here.
Ken, just before we go, I want to ask about your T-shirt or whatever the hell it is you're wearing. What do you got on the front there?
It's Mickey Mouse.
Oh, it's Mickey.
I've got kids at home. They're not young kids, but they're young at heart. And just to keep spirits up, we're doing like a spirit week this week, and we got a different theme for shirts every day. And today it's Christmas. So this is my ugly Christmas sweater.
I don't think it's ugly. I like it.
It's pretty cool. I agree. Well, Steve, any other ways that people can get your beer?
Well, they can call, they can come in, curbside service. And also, as of today, we have gift cards. So look online for announcements tomorrow about how you can get a gift card and make somebody really happy.
I think that's a great idea. Jay, off you go. No. You make me really happy, Jay. In little ways. Oh, by the way, we do like your bar. I think it was made from wood that fell down in your garden, right?
Yeah, well, it didn't fall, but it had to come down. It's a spruce tree. It was about 80 feet high, and one of these days while I'm bored, I'm going to count the rings to find out just how old it was. And yeah, I couldn't be more happy with how it turned out. All I need now are some people sitting at it. And unfortunately, it looks like I've got a bit of a wait for that. But in the meantime, people should stop by and get Brother Chimp beer to go.
Well, I think we're all in agreement about getting around a bar. This is about the closest we can do. I just wish there was more people in the Britain Yankee pub as well, even though it's not really open to the public, but it's open to you guys. So I would say with the smile in my glass, and Ken, you have the smile too, right? So smile. It's cheers from me.
Cheers from him.
And
Cheers.
cheers. And Steve. Right, let's all do it in unison now. 1, 2, 3. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.